Hi Aries, welcome to your love reading for January 2020. Let's go ahead and see what is coming up for you in your love life. This is the love reading for the sign of Aries for January 2020. The first card you have is the Hermit. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. The Wheel. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Queen of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Ace of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Nine of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Knight of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. The High Priestess. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Ten of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Aries for January. Queen of Cups. Okay, what's the most important thing that Aries needs to hear about their love life for January 2020? The message that you have, Aries, is death. So this can represent the sign of Scorpio, but more than likely this represents the end of something, a dramatic ending, and a dramatic new beginning, a huge transformation in your love life. And I do see a lot of things here that are telling me that the sign of Aries, you could be thinking about making a decision. You want to create some type of change in your love life. So we'll come back to this card in a minute and see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Let's start at the top. And if you'd like a private reading with me, I'll put a link to my website down below, channeledguidance.com. Okay, so you have the Hermit, the Wheel, and the Queen of Wands. So this would be your energy because you're a fire sign. It can also represent someone that you're coupled with, an ex, or somebody new coming into your life. I mean, what I see here, very first card is the Hermit, which represents a sign of Virgo as well. But this means that there is a lot of thinking going on. And since you have the Wheel here, which this is change, I feel like the sign of Aries is thinking of making a change in their love life, especially with something like this as a main energy. Some of you could be contemplating perhaps leaving a relationship. I feel like if you're leaving a relationship, it's either because you're no longer happy or you have someone else in mind. I don't think some of you are just like leaving just because. I feel like there could be someone else. It's like you're ending something to start something new. But with the Hermit, you are doing a lot of soul searching. It's like there is change here for the sign of Aries. There's a movement around your love life, but there is a lot of thinking behind it. Of course, it can also be if you're coupled and you definitely are not thinking of leaving, that there is a lot of soul searching going on, maybe with the person that you love. There's a lot of soul searching, maybe about movement in your relationship, maybe moving to a higher level of commitment. I just see someone doing a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out the truth about movement, about change, positive changes in a relationship. Maybe someone is not ready for some type of big change in your relationship. Look at this next row. Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Knight of Wands. So it's like, you know, these cards are opposite energies, this one and this one. Someone is eager to move forward. Someone is not going to stop until they get what they want. I feel like it's you, Aries, because I mean, this is lined up with your energy. And the sign of Aries is very fiery. You're very self-confident. You're not shy. I mean, I guess it depends where your moon and rising sign are. But you are kind of a go and get it type of person. I feel like there's someone that you really want and that you're not backing down. You're not giving up on this person. But we also have a new beginning over here. It can definitely be that the person that you love is holding back from you. They may be the ones doing all the soul searching with this energy of the Hermit, soul searching about movement, change in your relationship. I do see, a new beginning here for you. This can be a new relationship for those who are single, but can also just be a new beginning in your existing relationship. A lot of happiness, new beginnings, new blessings coming in. But there is someone who's very kind of on guard here. Someone who's not quite ready to let it in. So this ties in with the energy of the Hermit. Someone is not sure. Someone is doing a lot of soul searching. Like, I don't know if I want to see this change, this positive change or movement in this relationship. I don't know if I want this new beginning. And the other person is kind of like, hell yes, I want to see this relationship move forward. I want to see a lot of changes. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to walk away from this person. Now look at this bottom row. You've got the High Priestess, the Ten of Cups, and the Water. Well, the Queen of Cups. Now this card, I did have the King and the Queen of Cups jump from the deck when I was shuffling, so I feel like a water sign is very significant to you. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can also be somebody new for those of you who are single. Like I said, I kept getting the King and the Queen of Cups jumping. And now they have come up here. They have come up with strong relationship energy, the Ten of Pentacles. This is marriage, commitment, long-term relationships, commitment. But I mean, you're being told here, trust your intuition. For some of you, you may not want to let go of someone who is here. They're in your life. I feel like those of you who are watching this reading, you've already kind of met this person. You're coupled with them or you're dating them. You have high hopes for this relationship. I feel like, you want this relationship to move forward, but I do feel like some of you, you're dealing with someone who is very cautious, who's very kind of much on guard and is not sure about the changes in your relationship. You're being told, trust your intuition here. Is this the right person for you? Okay, let's get a few more. Let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries about their love life for the month of January? Interesting. You've got the Page of Cups, King of Wands, Seven of Swords. So your energy is strong here. I mean, unless you're already coupled with another fire sign, either another Aries, a Leo, or Sagittarius, there is a lot of fiery energy here. Look at this, King and Queen of Wands. And you also having the Page of Cups. So for some of you, I feel like, you want to really open up to someone. Either you want to tell them you still love them if this is an ex. Let me go back to the main energy, because I mean, the main energy is death here. I mean, this is, like I said, this is kind of a dramatic ending and new beginning. And there's a huge transformation for the sign of Aries. But I mean, I feel here like there could be some self-deceit with the Seven of Swords. So kind of be careful. I know I've kind of gone in different directions with this reading, but this is kind of very weird energy. I just feel like someone is eager to move forward here with the Knight of Wands. Someone is eager to move forward. Maybe you're eager to get someone back in your life, or you're eager for, more commitment. You want a long-term relationship. But someone is being very cautious here. And someone is doing a lot of thinking and soul searching. Maybe you need to do that as well. Because the Seven of Swords can be a sense of self-deceit. It's like, you really want to have a relationship with this person, or you really want something more committed. Let me get a confirmation card for the Seven of Swords. I feel like this has come up so far for all the signs that I've uploaded. What confirmation is there for the sign of Aries for the Seven of Swords? Look at this. I pulled the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is a lot of agonizing. I mean, you can definitely be, because I mean, I pulled this with the Page of Cups, and the pages represent communication. Somebody could very well be agonizing over you. Like, I don't know if I want Aries back. Like, they keep thinking of you, because that's what we started with right here, the Hermit. A lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching. Like, again, I don't know if I want to go back with Aries. I don't know if I want to have a relationship with Aries, but yet they keep thinking about you. They keep thinking about you, obsessing over you. Because I mean, the Knight of Swords is the ultimate card of obsessing. This is agonizing, and kind of torturing yourself. And there could definitely be some self-deceit here. Someone could be kind of telling you one thing, but thinking and feeling something else. Let's get a few more cards from the confirmation deck, because this is really weird. Let me get the deck and let's see what comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for January 2020? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Justice. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for January? Nine of Swords again. And the Seven of Cups. What's the most important thing that Aries needs to hear about their love life for January 2020? I mean, look at this. You've got the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Swords 2 times. I feel like someone is definitely doing a lot of agonizing over you. A lot of thinking about you. The Eight of Swords is someone who feels trapped. This is someone who, again, may feel they can't move forward, because this is moving forward. This is change in your relationship. But someone is analyzing this, a lot of soul searching, and they feel stuck. For some reason, this person feels like, I can't move forward with Aries. Fear is holding them back. Now here, I mean, justice has come up for you. Justice can represent the sign of Libra, but it also means that something is not fair here. Something is not fair to the sign of Aries. I mean, look at this. The Nine of Swords 2 times. I feel like it may not be fair that someone is kind of keeping you maybe on the back burner while they think about things, while they decide if they want to be with you. This is a whole lot of agonizing. But also, I mean, again, you have the 7, the 8, and the 9 of Swords. I feel like someone is doing a lot of thinking about you, but again, they're also agonizing because they're highly confused. The 7 of Cups. They don't know what they want. And we saw that right away here. There is someone who's doing a lot of soul searching, like, I don't know if I should try again, or I don't know if I want to, you know, move to a higher level of commitment. Here's a change possibly that you want. There is fear right in the center of the reading. Someone's just being very paranoid and protective of themselves. But again, the 9 of Swords 2 times. This is someone who is doing a lot of agonizing. And again, possibly self-deceit, because the 9 of Swords was a confirmation card for the 7 of Swords, which is someone who is in denial. Someone who runs away from things. Someone who is kind of their own worst enemy. That was the confirmation card that I pulled for that. So, I mean, here, let me just look over the cards before we move on to the X spread here. Just to see, you know, if I missed anything. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like you're here. Someone is doing a lot of thinking about you. Thinking about, you know, changes, big movement. It could be coming back to you if this is an ex, but it can also be just maybe movement in your relationship. Maybe you want more from this person. Maybe you want to see more of them. Maybe you want a committed relationship. And I see that someone is eager to move forward. And this can be you because it's lined up with your energy. Someone is eager. Like, yes, I want to see this relationship grow and move. I want to see commitment, which I have here, the 10 of Pentacles. But then someone's eager and someone is paranoid and protective and just kind of very defensive about a new beginning. And again, there's a lot of agonizing with the 9 of Swords, which also came up over here on this side. But it did come up with the 7 of Swords, which is someone who is in denial. Someone who is their own worst enemy. And you also have the 7 of Cups. Someone is just very confused and kind of very lost when it comes to maybe this energy of justice. And justice, again, this is someone who has maybe done you wrong. Someone has been very unfair to you, maybe making you wait. Or maybe they've been unfaithful. Justice just means that you have been done wrong, but also can represent an apology for maybe someone who has cast you aside. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread. Okay, Aries, let's go ahead and see what is going on between you and your ex for the month of January 2020. What's going on with the sign of Aries and their ex for January? 2 of Pentacles. What's going on with the sign of Aries and their ex for January? Queen of Wands. What's going on with the sign of Aries and their ex for January? 9 of Cups. What's going on with the sign of Aries and their ex? 3 of Wands. 7 of Wands. What's going on between the sign of Aries and their ex for January? Ace of Cups. What's going on between the sign of Aries and their ex for January? 10 of Pentacles, which you also had in the first spread. What's going on between the sign of Aries and their ex for January? The Moon. Interesting. And the 7 of Swords again, which you also had in the first spread. So, I mean, the fact that you have here, I mean, you've got the Moon and you have the 7 of Swords again as a repeat card. Both of these cards can represent deceit. For some of you, this can maybe represent what happened when you broke up, maybe what tore you apart. But it can also just be a strong sense of self-denial. Maybe your ex is kind of in denial about wanting you back because something is kind of keeping this relationship on hold. Let's go ahead and start at the top. You've got the 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. So your energy is here. I mean, I definitely feel like your ex is thinking of you. Your ex is thinking of you. There is still a lot of happiness that could manifest here. You have the 9 of Cups. Your wish, this is a card of wish fulfillment. Your wishes could still come true as far as you and your ex reconciling, because you do have the 9 of Cups lined up with the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning. A new beginning for a relationship, rekindling a relationship. But you are starting with the 2 of Pentacles, which means this is all still very much up in the air. It's very kind of, your ex could be very uncertain as far as do they want you back. That's probably what we were seeing in the first spread. You know, with that Hermit energy right next to the Wheel and then your energy. It's kind of interesting that your energy has popped up twice in the first 3 cards. I feel like your ex is kind of going back and forth. They could be very uncertain as far as do they want you back. Things are very unstable right now. And I do see that in the second row as well. We've got, again, that new beginning is here for you as far as you reconciling. But there's this energy of making you wait. Like your ex could be waiting, you know, for them to figure things out. This is lined up with the Two of Pentacles, which is sometimes kind of like a wishy-washy behavior, but also they could be feeling very uncertain. They could be going back and forth. Like, yes, I do want Aries back. So no, I don't. And they could be changing their mind back and forth. So the Three of Wands is them waiting, keeping you waiting. For some of you, this may not be fair to you. And you actually had the Justice card in the first spread, which means something is not fair to you. If you've been waiting for your ex for a really long time, and for some of you, you may even be getting kind of mixed signals from them. Maybe they talk to you sometimes, maybe they don't, and then they ignore you. The Seven of Wands is you needing to really speak up for yourself, to stand your ground. Again, I feel like this especially applies to those of you where they pop up every once in a while and then they disappear again. It's like there is happiness here with you and your ex. You could still be happy together. There could still be a new beginning. But it's like they're waiting for that perfect timing. Maybe I feel like they're not sure as far as wanting you back. And that's something we saw in the first spread as well. But you do need to be firm with them. Again, if you've been waiting for a long time, and maybe if this person kind of gives you mixed signals, like they pop up, they disappear, like you definitely have to put your foot down and say, I'm not going to wait forever. Now, the bottom here, I mean, I do see a relationship here. It's still here. You know, we see that here and here as well. You could still be happy. There could still be a new beginning. There can still be a committed relationship. This can even be a card of marriage. But there is a lot of weird energy around it. You have the moon, which is, you know, it can definitely represent the sign of Pisces, but more than likely it represents things you don't know. There could be a lot of fears, a lot of emotions going on within your ex that you're not aware of. I feel like it's also self-deceit, because you not only have the moon, right next to it you have the Seven of Swords, which came up in the first spread. Someone who is in denial, someone who is kind of working against their own happiness, and that is something that we saw in the first spread, where we had the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords. My goodness. There could be a lot of things that you're not aware of when it comes to your ex. Maybe a lot of things that they're thinking about, a lot of fears. And this could be what, you know, why they keep you waiting. Okay, let's get a few more. Aries and their ex for January 2020. Page of Pentacles. Aries and their ex for January. The World. Also a repeat card from the first spread. And the Six of Cups. I definitely feel like your ex is thinking about you. I know I keep saying that, but the cards that come up keep repeating that as well. I feel like your ex, I mean, the Page of Pentacles means that your ex is kind of looking at your situation right now. And that could be why we have this card. Maybe why, you know, they're not quite ready because they keep changing their mind, going back and forth. They're very uncertain, but they are looking at this. They are looking at your history, maybe how they feel about you, what happened between you. We have the Six of Cups. So the past is still with them. This is still an emotional connection to the past, longing for the past. They could be longing for you. I definitely feel like they're thinking about you. They're agonizing over you. And they're contemplating, you know, a change here. We have the World. This is a new chapter. And since we have the World right next to the Ace of Cups, because this is an ending and a new beginning, and this is a new beginning, I feel like they're contemplating kind of maybe reopening a chapter in your relationship, closing the old chapter. Maybe you had a lot of problems, maybe, you know, whatever it is that broke you up. This is victory. This is being able to start over, closure, healing, but also opening a new chapter. They're still emotionally connected to you, to the past. This is even longing for the past. Okay, let's get a few cards from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for January 2020? The Devil. Aries and their ex for January. Five of Cups. King of Pentacles. So if your ex is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising, or this can also be you if you have a moon or rising in an earth sign. Now there is sadness here. We've got the Five of Cups. This also is a card to me of disappointment. They could be disappointed in their actions, and maybe if they're the reason that you broke up. But this is just sadness. This is kind of dwelling on your pain, reliving something painful in your head over and over and over. Which could be why we saw the Hermit, you know, kind of this back and forth energy. This is just someone who is kind of very emotional, very upset, and someone who's mourning the loss of something, which can definitely be the mourning the loss of you. It's just that there's a lot of negativity here. We have the Devil. This can represent the sign of Capricorn, but also means that there could be a lot of negative thoughts when it comes to your ex. They could be very pessimistic, maybe that your relationship will end again. Maybe that's why we saw the Nine of Swords 2 times. A lot of agonizing. I definitely feel like there's your ex is definitely doing a lot of thinking. They are thinking of you. They're agonizing over you. But this shows me that there are negative thoughts there. There's pessimism, like, well, break up again. Why bother trying again? And again, there could be kind of thoughts of how they messed up, disappointment in themselves, or just sadness at how things turned out. And again, they're keeping you waiting here. They're waiting for that perfect timing for them to know. This is not knowing. This is someone who is, keeps changing their mind back and forth. This is not fair to you. This is why you also have the Justice card in the first spread. Yeah, and looking over here, I mean, they're very carefully looking at a reunion with you, which can still happen. A lot of happiness with the Nine of Cups, and you beginning with the Ace of Cups. But this person could definitely be in denial with the Seven of Swords and the Moon. There could be a lot of things you don't know, you don't understand about your ex. The Moon is also a very kind of emotional energy, especially with the Five of Cups in the same spread. They could be very upset maybe about how things ended with you. I mean, if this was their fault, they could, be blaming themselves. But I definitely feel like they are thinking of you. It's just they have not quite made up their mind. Okay, Aries, this has been your love reading for January 2020. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.